Hi, welcome back to the channel. Well, today we're going to take a look at the brand new Toundra Panthere, which is based of course on the Alpine A110. Now I've made mine into the fairly new 110R. I configured one on the Renault site and we're going to use that configurator to compare against the real car. It's all pretty close. You can see at the front they've given the shape of the DRL for the centre lights but not the actual light. And then in the headlights the DRL has disappeared to be replaced by something else. On the side the scoop in the bodywork is reversed in fact, which was interesting. At the back they've given it a bigger spoiler, small detail differences, and they've moved the exhausts out rather than being in the centre. But overall, so recognisable. What a brilliant job they've done. Sorry, that was fun but ultimately immature. Let's start again with the driving. Before we go too much further, I want to really celebrate the fact that Alpine have made this car. There's not really enough manufacturers at the moment making lightweight sports cars, making true driver's cars, your weekend type car. And Alpine have done it, and they've done it well, and the car has received massive reviews. The only thing that stops me really wanting one of these as a weekend car is that my left leg still works. And for this sort of car, for me, while I can use my left leg, I'd rather have a manual. The version that we're looking at, the R, is the really hotted up track only model. Adding this fire orange paint took the list price of this car to over £90,000. It's very much a track focused one, and cheaper models are available. But this looks so good in the garage. The car's in the sports category, and as I drive it round that seems fair. It's not the quickest thing in a straight line, but it's decently quick, it's got good brakes. Now as for the handling, we're about to go on track to look a little bit more into the handling. Well, she was a little rude. I'm sure you're aware, in any car when you corner, if you brake, it puts the weight on the front wheels, takes the weight off the back wheels, and this can have various effects. In a front wheel drive car it may just tighten the line. In a rear wheel drive car it may make you smile. But in a mid-engine car it may make you wish you are Chris Harris or the Stig or some other driving god, because on the road especially you don't really want a mid-engine car out of shape. I think Rockstar have taken this and they have, like Spinal Tap, taken it to 11. This car is very tail happy if you ease off the throttle at all, and I struggled to put together a half decent lap. I think this is about the 15th lap I actually did in the car before I got a time that I thought I wasn't going to beat anymore. I think it's a really fun trait. I think it makes the car delightful to drive on the road, that every time you ease off it starts to go a little sideways, you have to balance it all out. But I think for some people it could be a negative. Otherwise the track performance I thought was excellent. I'll do the customization live so you can see some of the options. I maxed out the armour and the brakes. The carbon fin splitter is a real dead ringer for the front one, and the carbon competition diffuser at the back has the little winglets. That's also very close. Maxing out the engine. With the exhaust, the GT exhaust has a carbon surround. I think that's a little better for hiding what is actually not the correct exhausts in the first place because of the positioning. Stock grille works. With the hood, you want this carbon performance hood. It's actually very close to the original hood with the vents as they are. Moving on to the interior, this car does have carbon track seats for real, so I put those in here. On the lights, I've already got the white lights from the car meet, but otherwise I would put xenon on it. This build does not need a livery, but I thought you maybe would like to see the liveries, so we'll just whip quickly through all of them. Now the louvers, at the back of the car, on the real one there's an awful lot of carbon. They haven't really duplicated it here. I think it looks pretty good with no louvers, just the window. Even the carbon street louvers sort of a little bit look like the real thing. The one I've settled on I may change because it looks a little strange. I've painted this a crew colour. I will leave the hex down below, and then it has a bright orange pearl, but you could easily find alternatives to match this colour, I think, in the GTA palette. Classic Torino red for the brake calipers, which is all the secondary is doing. The all carbon GT roof. You see there's also a roof where the sides are painted in paint colour, but that's not what the R has. The carbon super skirts are perfect because they have that little winglet at the back. And if you scroll way down in the spoilers, you'll find the exclusive carbon spoiler, and that is so close again to the one fitted to the R. Rockstar definitely had the R in mind as one of the cars you may choose to make when they did this. Street suspension seems to be about the right height. The others too high or indeed too low. And I've again maxed out the transmission. I've given it turbo tuning. It's a turbo 1.8 car anyway. For the wheels, Rally Monoblock in the track category, painted black. They're pretty close to the original wheel, and I don't think I can find anything better at all. A light tint on the windows, and she's done. Like all showcase cars, I'm going to score it. For looks, it's a straight 5. I'm sure you've already guessed that. Bruffy has this car 65th in the sports car class, so not competitive for racing, so I take a point off. I also think that although I enjoy the way this car handles, a lot of people won't, so I'm going to take another point off and give it 3 for driving. For value for money, I was going to buy it whatever, and so are a lot of people, but that doesn't take away from the fact that it's a very expensive car for average performance, so 3 again. So not great scores, 5, 3 and 3, but that said, I really enjoy the car. I'm so pleased I bought it. I'd be very interested to hear what you think of the car in the comments down below. And please do consider a like. These things do take ages to put together. And as always, thank you so much for watching.